In the long history of the Trans Am Racing Series, there has always been one secret to winning: horsepower. In 1988, the Audi engineers issued a challenge. They would take on the world's fastest muscle cars, not with a horsepower
advantage, but with an unconventional
all-wheel drive system. The experts scoffed. Then came those famous words.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
The car moves forward like a skyrocket. That's what it's all about.
But the production-based Audi four-door sedans, with the smallest engines in the series, would need an advantage of their own to even hope to compete with their more powerful rivals. In the 1960s, a racing series was founded to serve as a technological showdown for America's fastest high-performance automobiles. It was named the Trans Am. Here, Ford raced against Chevy, Peter Revson against Mark Donohue. So prestigious was this championship that challengers soon arrived from Europe, including Porsche, BMW, and Jaguar. Even so, the winning advantage still came down to horsepower, not handling. In 1988, Audi introduced a revolutionary new concept to Trans Am racing, a more sophisticated way to put the power to the pavement. It was called Quattro, all-wheel drive. With the Audi engineers intent on demonstrating the superiority of the Quattro system, the unheard-of decision was made to keep the cars as production-based as possible. The Quattros would be long shots at best to make a run for the championship. And even the drivers were a bit apprehensive about their chances.
Everything was new to me. I thought to myself, oh, is that the right thing I might have towards the end of my career with 37?
When my competitors found that we were going to be racing an Audi and they took a look at the car the first time, they kind of laughed and said, "You got to be kidding. This is a car that we race that looks very much like the sedan that people can buy in the showrooms."
Haywood will run the entire series in car 44, while Hans Stuck and Walter Earl will alternate races in car 14. Once the testing began, the drivers quickly became enthusiastic about the Quattro system.
It was a good system, and after the test was over, I walked away with a big smile on my face.
I must say, when I got the first time into the car when we were testing in south of France, in Atlanta, I could learn very fast how good the Audi engineers prepared this car. But nevertheless, we didn't know where we are till we came to the first practice in Long Beach.
The streets of Long Beach. The Audi Quattros enter the first race of the season as underdogs, but quickly surprise everyone with their incredible traction on the twisty circuit. Yet on the long straightaway, they're hardly a match for their more powerful competitors. As the treacherous street surface begins to take its toll on the rear-wheel drive cars, Haywood's Quattro begins an amazing charge up to fourth. Third, taking second place on the final lap. Dallas, rally champion Walter Earl, driving his first Trans Am race, shocks the competition by setting the fastest qualifying time in his Quattro. In the race, Haywood takes up the challenge and scores the first victory ever by an all-wheel drive vehicle in such a major production car event.
The track was very slippery during the race, and I just cruised around the car because of the all-wheel drive system. I could put it any place on the racetrack and get away with doing just about anything that if you tried it in a conventional car, you would have crashed. It was a first win for Audi, and it made everybody happy.
Detroit. Audi makes it 2 wins in the first 4 races as Haywood takes first place on the final lap. Then Earl follows with an impressive flag-to-flag victory at Niagara Falls. Suddenly, there's talk in the pits that maybe Audi does have a bit of an advantage with their unique Quattro all-wheel drive system. Meanwhile, Hans Stuck was still looking for his first win.
Sooner or later, I thought, I have to win a race. Audi is paying me a lot of money, so I look like a fool. I got to win a race now.
Cleveland. Stuck makes a bold move for that first victory at the start, but is challenged by Darren Brasfield's Corvette and Scott Pruitt's Mercure. While the others have problems just staying on the road, Stuck uses the Quattro's traction to outbrake Pruitt for the lead to record his first victory of the year.
I did my first Audi win And it was a win for a long, long time for me because it didn't win a race for almost a year long, not even with Porsche.
By the next race, Sports Car Club of America officials have done some quick rewriting of the rule book, adding a substantial weight handicap to the Audis and reducing the turbo size. Still, the Audi advantage prevails as Stuck and Haywood make it a Quattro 1-2 finish at Brainerd.
They can give us as many weight as they want, and they can restrict our tires. As long as we can run on a four-wheel drive car, we'll be looking very good.
The New Jersey Meadowlands. Scott Pruitt's powerful Merkur shoots into the lead at the start, while Stuck bides his time in second, waiting for his chance.
You could see Scott Pruitt coming out of the corner sideways with smoking blue tires. I knew from now on 4 or 5 laps, then it's my time.
Sure enough, midway through the race, Stuck passes Pruitt for first place, and at the checkered flag, it's 3 in a row for Stuck and another Quattro 1-2 finish. Even in victory circle, the Audi rivals are left struggling with technology.
And then a great race came up, which was Mid-Ohio in the rain. We were always looking, praying for rain, and Sunday morning when I got up at about 7 o'clock, I saw the rain and said, that's what we need.
The rain-slicked track immediately gets the better of the competition, while the Quattro moves into first place.
The Audi has always the feet on the ground, fantastic traction, fantastic cornering. And with the four-wheeler, you know, it was the experience of all my life. You always had good traction. You could go over the hill with all the cars sliding with the power on. So just great stuff.
As others slip and slide, the Quattro proved to be the ultimate rainmeister, giving Stuck his 4th straight win.
I think I put a good show on there, and I proved there that what an all-wheel driven car can do in the rain.
The season is yet to be completed, but Haywood has already clinched the driver's title, and Audi locked up the manufacturer's championship. And the drivers have become firm believers in the Quattro system.
It was a big change for me. I went from, GTP cars, which are rear-wheel drive cars. It's a little disquieting to get used to, but once you trust the car, it's a system that I really think is fantastic.
I had to adjust my style of driving, because Trans Am drivers are hard drivers, tough drivers. They don't look very often in the mirror. If you come from behind, especially with a car like the Audi, you can brake very late.
The same reasons that we were able to dominate the Trans Am series this year are the same reasons why the Quattro is good on the street. It simply gives the driver a tremendous amount of security behind the wheel because the car does what the driver asks it to do with no fuss or muss.
To me, it's a miracle. It isn't essential on every motor car that has more than 200 horsepower. When you have a very powerful car and you accelerate, you have spinning wheels, and the car can get out of control. But with a four-wheel drive, you always have good contact on the ground. It's much better on aquaplaning. It is safer on overtaking. It is better for braking.
I run a Porsche school, and we've done back-to-back tests with Audi versus Porsche, and Audi always comes out on top because it takes the average driver and makes the average driver better because of the all-wheel drive. It is very stable under braking, very good around corners. It's good on any kind of conditions, whether it be dry or wet or whatever. It's a system that I think when more and more people learn about it, more and more people are going to buy the cars.
If you have your wife or daughter or little son driving with this car, they have a good traction all the way. It's very important.
There remains one final matter of business, St. Petersburg, the last race of the season. For the first time, Audi enters 3 cars. It'll be a shootout among Haywood, Stuck, and Rural. There will be no team orders. Stuck wins the pole position by a split second over Rural and Haywood. Audis will start 1, 2, 3. On lap 13, Stuck is out of the race with an overheating engine. The Audi challenge is left to Ruhl and Haywood. Ruhl begins a charge up through the pack until he catches the first-place Corvette. The vet slides wide, and Ruhl is in the lead. He quickly pulls away from the field. And it's win number 8 for the Audi team. So the Audi Quattros, the cars that started the year as underdogs, end up as seasoned champions, winning the first major road racing championship ever for an all-wheel drive automobile. But more important, they have proven that there is a better way to put the power to the pavement, the Quattro system.